Hello, guys. Hello. I am super excited for tonight. You have no idea. If you are watching this live or if you're watching this as a recording, this is the free relationship training that I am offering. And this is about don't let the right relationship end for the wrong reasons. So I'm just going to give it a minute to allow everybody to join. What I'm going to do here is post the I'm hoping that'll come up. Okay, so in the comment section, you should be able to see the free download. And if you open that up, that'll give you all the information that we're going to go over tonight. That is my gift to you. It talks about how core beliefs are created, why they're created, and what you can do to start shifting them. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of time for people to join and get everything here situated. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Stacy Dykes. I am a relationship coach. I work with women who are empowered, who are ready to actually figure out what is creating all the conflict in their relationship. They know that they're in the right relationship. It feels like it's the right relationship, but the inner turmoil, the constant conflict, the outer turmoil has them questioning whether it is right. So I help them to uncover what is truly going on. What is the heart of the issue? And that is exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. I was so excited about teaching this to you guys. I can't even tell you. This is my passion. And I'm going to share this out really quickly. The reason why this is so important to me is apparently it's my journey in life. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But I've seen many, many relationships fall apart, many relationships that ended. And I, as someone who sees more, could see that there was issues that could have been healed or corrected to actually probably improve the relationship. Does that mean that I think that all relationships are going to survive or should survive? No, absolutely not. But I do believe that there are good relationships that could survive, could heal, but they don't have the right tools. And that's why I'm inspired to do this training. So let me share this out to you guys, to my group. We will get started. So for those of you guys that are watching or watching the replay and you have any questions, just go ahead and pop them in below, okay? And I will answer any questions at the end of this. I'm just giving it a minute to allow everybody to come on and join. If you are watching this or if you're watching the replay, please feel free to share this out if there's anybody that you feel like would benefit from this. And we will get started in just a second. So for those of you that are joining, I did pin at the very top of the page under the comment section. There is a DVD, I keep calling it, what do you call it? There's a document that you can open up and you can follow along with. That's for something that you can keep. If you would open that up and let me know that that opens up for you, that would be amazing. I want to make sure that you have that information. Okay, so we will get started. So I wanted to welcome you guys, and it is my intention to help you uncover, like I said, why good relationships end, and a lot of good relationships end for the wrong reason, and what you can do right now to start shifting your thoughts and beliefs towards the relationship that you desire and start to bring your relationship into harmony. This is, if you guys are watching this replay, if you found this, and you are single, this is also for information for people that are single. Maybe you've ended a relationship and you want to create a different relationship in the future. This also applies to you, what we're going to be talking about tonight. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about my background and how I got here. I came into this life aware of what was beyond just like the physical, what you could see with your eyes. I was connected to my higher guidance or communication since I was a child. And some people call that being psychic or intuitive. I would receive information about people, accurate information about just them themselves and their energy and things that were going on in their life. And I would receive information about events, and I would tell my mom, and it would be like accurate. And I think I freaked her out like when I was young, because your child's telling you this information, and like very clearly that as a child I shouldn't have this information. So I went through a whole journey of like being open, being aware, getting information about people, and then actually shutting it down because I was scared when I went through middle school and high school to be like the weird one. So I shut it down. And as I went through my own life healing journey, I was being forced to open that back up because it was a part of myself that I was suppressing. So as I went through my healing journey, I did open back up to my gifts, and they are a part of my relationship coaching, which is beautiful. My gift set is to not read future timelines. I don't tell people like if they are in the right relationship, if the one's coming. I don't tell people future information. My gifts lie in reading past timelines, so I can actually tap into my client's energy and go backward and read their timeline and actually feel where these core belief systems were created and laser into that time to help them to heal from the past forward. I'm very unique in that way. A lot of people read future timeline. I read past. So as I've gone on this journey, it's not always been easy. A lot of it has been painful, but that was how I learned through this experience. And I was led down this path to discover that we are so much more powerful and so much more, we have so much more dictation over our lives than we actually give ourselves credit for. That led me to learning the law of attraction, how belief systems were created, how we are actually attracting into our lives what we're experiencing, and how we actually manifest the things that we want or do not want in our lives. That is the basis of my work. I actually came into coaching as a life coach, and I was teaching manifestation, law of attraction, and I was working on these core belief systems. And my clients were having amazing, amazing results. One of my clients worked on an unworthiness issue, feeling like she was unworthy. And when she started to heal it, a 6-figure job opportunity landed in her lap. Another client worked on the same types of issues, unworthiness, not good enough, and she manifested her, dream job, or the job that she was looking for next into her life. I kept being called into doing relationship work, and I really resisted it for a really long time because my own relationship with my husband had been very turbulent, very, I don't know what the word is, but I was realizing that my guides were calling me into this work because we had shifted so much. And I think I was like looking for my relationship to be perfect. And I realized that no relationship is ever going to be perfect, but that I had a lot to teach people that were in the position that I was in maybe 5 years ago. So as I decided, unwillingly, but as I actually decided to start owning the gifts that I learned through core belief systems and how they apply to relationships, I started having clients coming in wanting to work on relationships, and I was having amazing transformation. One of my clients actually took her relationship from being on the verge of divorce to actually coming into harmony within a month. That was incredible. I had another woman who was not fully committed actually bring herself into commitment. And so I decided that this was a path that I wanted to pursue. I had the tools and the techniques, and I could see where people needed help in their relationships and what we could actually do to improve our relationships and shift it into a more harmonious way. So I'll talk just a little bit about my personal story. I don't want to get into that too much because I don't want to bore you with that. I want to give you the information that I came to teach you tonight. But I have talked about this in various groups about my own journey in my relationship, and my relationship, like I said, has been very turbulent. We actually came together and I called our wedding off 2 weeks before we were meant to get married. I never thought we would see each other again. We split up for 1.5 years. We came back together. We kept being pulled back together. And I realized that there was actually something there that I had to look at and had to heal because we kept being like magnetized back together. And so when I was willing to do the work, I realized how much like inner turmoil, inner conflict, inner belief systems I was holding that was actually needed to be healed. So when I started to heal it, because we finally got back together and we decided to get married, and this is a long story I won't tell, but we did get married. We're coming up on our 7th year anniversary in November. And when I finally actually started working on the inner healing, that's when I could see our marriage start to come together and be more grounded, because before that I was all over the place. So it was through this, my own relationship journey that I learned how core belief systems were affecting me, how my beliefs about myself and how they showed up in my relationship, like that I needed to heal. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And if you open up that PDF, you will see a picture of my husband. So I am 7 months pregnant. I am due at the end of November with our second baby. So if you would have asked me, let's see, 6, 7, 8 years ago, if him and I would have been married, if our marriage would have been really well, if we would have had children, I would have been like, no, you're a liar, you're crazy, like that's not even gonna happen. But here we are. And I realized that, hey guys, thank you for coming. I've just been blah, 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 talking away. So I realized that so this is the first thing I want to talk about. What is a good relationship? And I hope you guys can get that PDF. Please take that with you. So let me tell you really quickly the main points that we're going to talk about tonight. What breaks a relationship down? Core belief systems, and that's really what we're going to talk about tonight. Lack of communication, unwillingness to see your own faults, which ties into the core belief systems, unwillingness to heal those thoughts, unwillingness to heal pain and trauma from the past that could have been created from your childhood, and that also could have been created from past hurts that you experienced in the relationship, things that you're just holding on to and dragging with you and not letting go. And that also could be from previous relationship pain and trauma. So let's talk about what a good relationship is. And I always want to clarify, because I know that people's definitions and understandings of what a relationship is can be a little, people kind of misinterpret what I say. So I want to be very clear about what I'm talking about a good relationship. A relationship that's foundational. The foundation is in love and respect. One that's willing to work through issues and come to a better place. One that's supportive. One that's allowing of the other to be who they are. One that grows through the conflict and becomes more. One that knows, in your heart if you're in the right relationship. You know it. Like nobody needs to tell you. Your guidance system, your inner gut, your inner wisdom already knows that you're in the right relationship or you're not. That's not to say that that type of relationship doesn't have conflict, okay? It does not mean that that is a perfect relationship, because you wouldn't be listening to that, right? But the foundation of a good relationship has the bones and the structure. You know on a deep level that your partner is a good person, and that there are just things that need to be healed to you so you can get to the next point. So I want to talk about what a bad relationship is. Not bad, but a toxic relationship. And that is one that is controlling, where someone's controlling you. They're not allowing you to be who you are. They're suppressing you. They're keeping you down. They are verbally, mentally, physically abusive. One that thrives in toxicity. So if you're in a toxic relationship, you thrive off that pattern. Like there's just a constant conflict and you're thriving in it. One that does not grow and continues to be in that same pattern over and over. One that causes more pain and suffering than love and joy. One that you know deep in your heart, just like the other people that know they're in the right relationship, you know you're in the wrong relationship. You know that it's not right with you on some level. You know that this is a toxic relationship. You know that there is something that you need to let go of. Okay, so if you're hearing this, take those words into, you already know if you need to hear it. So this is why I really wanted to do this and feel really passionate about it. There are such good relationships that have such good structure, and there's this conflict, constant arguing, constant turmoil. Like you just get to this place where you can't move forward because you don't have the tools and you don't have the understanding of what is actually going on. And this is what I want to really share with you tonight. What are core belief systems and inner wounds, and how did we even get them? So the moment that you were born into this world, you were pure positive love. There was no predestined beliefs about the world around you. You were a clean slate. You had no belief structures in place. As you started to grow and become aware of the people, places, and things around you, you also started to become imprinted with the thoughts and ideas about life because of those people, because of those places, because of those things that you experienced as a child. Because of those experiences, you formed beliefs about yourself in conjunction with what that meant to you, what you believed about yourself. You formed beliefs about reality, the reality of money, the reality of a relationship, the reality of your country, the society that you grew up in, reality about your friendships or lack thereof, reality about religion. You formed a belief system and structure about reality based on your experiences. And remember, just as you were forming these belief systems as a child, there was a child on the opposite side of the world that were forming beliefs about reality that were just as true to him and her, but that were actually opposite from what you were experiencing. Reality is based on what you experienced. So if you grew up in a home that was dysfunctional, if you grew up in a home where there was constant fighting, that's what you might have picked up as what was reality. That's just how it was. Like, that's what was normal. And it's not until you actually get a little bit older that you realize, like, maybe that wasn't normal. There was an equal opposite child that grew up in a loving, nurturing home, and that's what they believed to be normal reality. Maybe you grew up in a home where your parents were constantly trying to make ends meet. You didn't have enough money. You were poor. And that's what you believed life was. You believed that you were meant to be poor on some level. And opposite was true. There was a child that grew up in an affluent home who had everything, all their needs were met. And that's what they believed reality to be true. So we are going to talk about how these core belief systems were created and why they're still impacting you today. Now, I want to make it clear that this does not diminish anything that you experienced. So I know that some of you that are coming in to watch, and some of you replay viewers that are watching, maybe experienced trauma as a child. And I don't want you to feel like this is diminishing anything that you experienced. What it is shining some light on that past experience is still affecting you today. And there's some healing that needs to happen so that you actually can release the pain, the energy, the emotion stuck in that past time period so that you can move forward. We don't realize like how things affect us as we've gone through our lifetime if we haven't actively tried to look at it, to heal it. And most of us don't want to look at it and heal it. We want to actually push it down and not acknowledge it and just keep moving. But energetically, emotionally, mentally, those things still live within you. Those experiences are still living within you. It's actually like a computer program or our matrix, the way that we're structured. Those things are still playing in the background. And if you have an old computer, you know, like you have to go in and delete certain files or certain programs that are like bogging your computer down that aren't like up to date to put the new up to date stuff in. All of these belief systems that are working in the background are all the old programs that need to be deleted, to need to be looked at, to go, okay, this is not like working anymore. I've got to get rid of this. So, we're going to talk a little bit about like these core belief systems and how they vibrate out and how they attract back to you the experiences that you're having through the law of attraction. And I'm going to do a training on just the law of attraction and relationships later on this week. So if you want to join me for that. So you're going to find that many of these belief systems overlap, and you might have two or more. I know that I had two at least. So just sit and listen to what I'm saying. Be aware. You're going to know immediately if something rings true and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, that like I remember, I feel like I have that, or I know that I've had that forever. I'm just checking in to see, guys. So I will go through this training and then I will answer any questions you guys have. I just want to make sure there was no questions. So the main core beliefs we're going to go over tonight are I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm not loved, and I'm not worthy of love, which all kind of play. And there's a few more that kind of go hand in hand with that, but they somehow come under this category. Like you can be afraid to speak your truth, which goes into one of these other main categories. So number one that we're going to talk about tonight is the biggie. And this plays out across like so many different areas in your life. If you hold this, you can hold this belief system in love and money. It's attached. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of having a good relationship or the kind of relationship I desire. So the ways that this belief system can show up can look like jealousy. Having a couple that's in your life, or maybe a couple that you've seen that you are jealous of, like you're envious of, on a deeper level, that jealousy is saying you believe that you can't have what they have. I remember that I had this. I don't even know how long ago it was. It was before I was married, but I was with my husband. And I remember watching Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, and they were like singing on stage or something. And I remember just like this feeling of like jealousy of like, I don't know, like it was a feeling like I would never have that kind of relationship, or it was just sickening how like loving they were. And this stemmed back to me feeling like I was not worthy when I started to do this deeper work. So having couples in your world that, you know, you're envious of or you're jealous of because there is something in there within you that's saying you can't have that. That's the belief that says you are not worthy of that. Ask yourself, what is it about that relationship? What is it about their relationship that you believe you can't have? So is it like how, you know, comfortable they are with each other? Is it because they communicate? Is it that they're so affectionate? What is it that they are displaying to you that you believe you can't have in your relationship? Another way that this belief can show up is attracting the wrong kind of people into your life. So when you attract these types of relationships into your life, it is actually you bringing proof to yourself that you indeed can't have a good relationship, that you're not worthy of it. And you will continue to bring those types of relationships into your life until you change this belief, until you actually believe that you're worthy of having a good relationship. You will continue to attract relationships that aren't good for you, or like the wrong kind of relationship. So attracting the wrong type of people into your life. Calling in relationships that constantly end are people that are not committed. So on some level, you will attract people into your life that aren't ready to show up fully in your life and that are ready to be fully committed, or the relationships constantly end. So I'm talking to past issues too. So if you're listening to this, this could be just a past issue. I was just thinking of all the ways that unworthiness shows up. Attracting toxic relationships into your life. This could stem from family drama that you have witnessed and believe that's just how it is. So I grew up that way. That's just how it was. That's how my mom and dad were. That's how they were. That's how my step parents were. That's how they live their life. And that's what relationships mean. And it's not until we actually start to kind of question, is that true? Is it true that's how a relationship has to be? Is there other examples of relationships that are healthy and thriving in the way that we want them to be? And we'll talk about that. But you can actually start to call in relationships that you desire. So maybe you'll see somebody online, or maybe you'll have an encounter, or maybe you'll make a friendship with people that have the type of relationship that you want when you're going through this journey, and you want to start bringing in examples of the relationship that you desire. Attracting relationships that emulate your parents' relationship. So a relationship that is lack of love, or lack of communication, lack of fun, lack of excitement, lack of happiness, infidelity. You can attract those types of relationships into your life. I can feel like I'm hearing somebody say, like, how do we fix that? Or, how do we change that? And we'll go into that in a little bit. So always feeling like you don't deserve the relationship you're in. This could be like a great relationship that you're in, but you sabotage it. On some level, you don't believe you deserve it, so you will continually sabotage your relationship, whether that's picking a fight, whether that's it always comes down to fighting, but there's something in there that causes this inner turmoil. So there's like these beliefs that go on in your mind, and you will pick a fight with your partner and you'll continue to sabotage it. You could be in a good relationship and continue to do that. So I work with my clients on multiple different levels. We work on the mindset, which is the belief systems that we're talking about, energetically. So the energy that you're holding, emotion, and physically. So we'll actually take action. But energetically, for those of you that are into energy work, this could be connected to a blocked sacral chakra. So the feeling of unworthiness can be connected to your blocked sacral chakra, which is, if you feel your belly button, it's like 2 fingers down. That is your sacral chakra. I'm not going into the energetic system today, but we're going to talk about sacral chakra and heart chakra. The second core belief system is, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to have the relationship I desire because, fill in the excuse. I'm overweight. I'm too skinny. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not educated. Basically, anything that you're saying you are not enough in some way, shape, or form is a belief system that's saying, I'm not good enough. And this can manifest in, you can be in a good relationship and you can still feel like you are not good enough. I'm not good enough for this relationship. I'm not good enough for my partner. This belief system can show up with always making your partner feel like they're not good enough. We will actually mirror out, we'll actually push our own stuff out onto our partner. So constantly making them feel like they're not enough, making them feel like they haven't, that it's never enough, or that they don't do things right. That can be a direct reflection of us feeling like we're not enough. Blaming your partner for what you don't have or can't have in life. Like, it's his fault or her fault that I can't be successful or thin or rich, or I can't have my dream house or whatever. Actually blaming your partner for the things that you don't have in your life can be a core belief system that you feel like you are not enough. So you blame it on your partner. Always feeling unfulfilled no matter how good your relationship is. This actually can tie into the next belief system we're going to talk about. So always just feeling like you're not fulfilled, like nothing's ever good enough. You're never happy because on some level you feel like you're not enough. And if you guys are popping questions, then I'm sorry, I don't want to get distracted, because I get distracted really easy, like super easy. Unworthiness and not good enough can manifest as feelings like it's for them to have it. It's not for me to have a good relationship. So like feeling like you are jealous because it's them. They can have that kind of relationship, but it's not for me. Like, who am I to have that? I'm not good enough. Okay. This can also be connected to a blocked sacral chakra. And if you guys are interested in energy, I don't do a ton of energy work. I do a lot of mindset work, but I infuse my mindset work with energy. You can go on and Google. There's a ton of information about the chakra system, how they're all connected energetically, how they're actually connected to each area that we're working with. So there's tons of free information out there for you guys. The last one that we're going to talk about tonight is I'm not worthy of love. I'm not loved. This is a huge one. Like, so many people hold this feeling. You do not have to come from a background where you were in trauma or abused, or it does not have to be a traumatic experience for you to feel any of these core belief systems. It can just be through experience. I don't want to get into my personal story, but I held this feeling of not feeling loved. And it was because I was actually not feeling love because I was such a sensitive child that I didn't feel this. And I interpreted my childhood in a way that as I was healing, I realized wasn't actually true. But it was the way that I interpreted it. So this core belief system of not feeling worthy of love, who will ever love me? This can go hand in hand. I'm not worthy of love, and who will ever love me? This belief can show up like pushing good relationships away. So good people can come into your life and you will actually sabotage it and you will push it away. You will do something to sabotage the relationship. Having good relationships in your life, but sabotaging them because you don't feel like you are loved. Like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this person. I don't deserve how good they are to me. I don't deserve that they're actually treating me with love and respect. I don't deserve it. And so you will do whatever it takes to like get away from that person. A lot of my clients actually have dealt with this on some level, and I have seen it like across the board, especially when there has been core wounding around love and abandonment. And as soon as they get into a really good relationship, so they'll call this person into their life, it's a good relationship, and all of a sudden they're like ready to run. Like, oh, hell no, like I can't handle this. This is too much. I don't know how to feel about this, because there's a part of your belief structure that's saying this doesn't feel normal. I don't know where do I put this? This person is treating me with love and respect. I don't know what to do with that. So that is just a part of that core belief system. Some of you are probably like, oh my God, like I understand what this feels like. So another way that this can show up, this feeling of unworthiness, is constantly looking for love outside of yourself. Love is out there. So this is like a huge one in relationships where people come to a point where there's no more love. Like, where did the love go? And they're looking outside of themselves for it. And love is never outside of yourself. Love is always from within yourself. You emulate it out, and your partner actually reflects it back to you, which is a whole nother story. But when you're constantly looking for it outside of yourself, you're never going to find it. It's like that carrot on the stick. You're never going to find it. When you learn that it's actually within you and that you actually create love, you will actually start to feel love back in your relationship. I've experienced this. I went from before we called the wedding off to like feeling like I was like with my brother, to bringing myself back into alignment, realizing what I needed to heal, realizing that I had these feelings that I was not loved, that I didn't feel worthy, healing that, opening myself up to receiving love, to actually coming back into alignment, to loving my husband. It didn't have anything to do with my husband as much as it did with my own inner healing. And then I could see that love that we had in our relationship. But that gets all bogged down when you're like, when you're not feeling love within yourself, when you're not giving yourself nurturing self-time. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for in the moment. When you're not like giving back to yourself, when you're not actually healing what you need to heal, when you're not taking time for yourself, that all that stuff gets bogged down, and then it just creates this outer conflict, and you're pointing at your partner going like, yeah, I don't love you anymore, I'm sorry. So the next way that this can come up, this belief, core belief of feeling like you're not worthy of love, is actually confusing the feeling of lust for love. Hold on, guys. So this would look like relationships where people jump from relationship to relationship because they're constantly on that high. They want to feel that first like high of being in love. They confuse that feeling of lust for love. And actually, when you are willing to do this healing work, when you're willing to go deep, when you're actually willing to see what's inside of you, where this inner conflict is, and you're actually willing to do this work with your partner, the level of love that you experience is deeper and more committed and more connected than that like feeling of high. So I'm sure either you or someone you know is the type of person that is constantly jumping from relationship because you're looking for that high. Feeling like your partner will leave you. And this can be tied into not feeling good enough as well. And this is also another way of sabotaging. So this can come from past relationships where you've experienced someone cheated on you or hurt you in some way, and you're dragging that into this relationship. So your partner could be telling you the truth, could be super honest, could be the right person for you, and you'll constantly feel like they're going to leave you. Like there's just constant feeling of like distrust. So you're never, ever in peace. You're constantly in disharmony, like constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Your partner could give you the moon and you'll reject it because you don't feel like you deserve it. So constantly feeling like, why are they doing this for me? Like, who am I? Like, you know, they're going above and beyond to like give you things, serve you, do things for you, and you just keep rejecting it because on some level you don't feel like you deserve it. So also in this core belief system, there's a feeling of being rejected. And this can happen over and over and over again, like this feeling of being rejected. This actually can come from being rejected as a child, feeling rejected as a child, or, you know, abandoned as a child, and or experiencing that in a relationship that has not been healed. So feeling like your partner is going to like reject you or leave you in some way. Like this constant deep feeling like you're never loved, even if you're in a loving relationship. Like you can be in a loving relationship, but there's just still a part of you that just feels like doesn't feel loved. And that goes back to what we were just talking about. And this is really concentrated in your heart chakra, where your heart chakra is blocked. So a lot of people that are blocked in this way are really good givers. Like they give. They will give the shirt off their back, but they cannot receive. They cannot receive love. It's tied into money too. They have a hard time receiving because there's a part of them that believes that they are not worthy of love. So it's just blocked. Like whatever somebody does for you or says to you just bounces right off. Like somebody can give you a compliment and you're just like, yep, okay. Like in your mind, you're like, I don't believe that. Like, why would they say that about me? Okay. I hope this is making sense, guys. I'm going to check it in just a second and see if there's any questions. Again, you could be in a long, loving relationship and just not feel that love. And that comes back to this inner core belief system of believing you are not worthy of love on some level. You are not good enough for love. So there's a constant feeling or searching of love on some level. And the last thing is sabotaging your relationship to see if your partner will leave. So we'll get into this sabotage mode where we want to constantly test our partner to see if they are going to leave us. Like we'll just push them to the edge, and you literally can create straight up chaos in your relationship, in your marriage, and constantly continually start like keep fighting going. You will initiate it because there's a part of you within you on a deeper level that wants to see if your partner's going to leave. Like you just testing and testing and testing, because there's a part of you that's saying, I'm not loved. I'm not worthy of this. So I'm just going to keep pushing them away to see if they're actually going to stay with me and be in love with me. Okay, let me go back and see. Hey guys, so I'm going to take some questions and we are going to talk about what you can do to start to shift this. So now that I've given you all this information, what do you do with it? Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I believe I have some of these belief systems. What do I do about it? So do you guys have any questions? Diana. Okay, I'll hang out just for a second and see if there's any questions. I'll get on my phone. It's quicker that way. And for those of you that are joining late, there is a PDF in the comment section. That is your free gift. You can download that. Please let me know that it downloads for you. I want to make sure there's no problems. You can download that, open it up. It goes over everything that I talked about tonight so you don't miss anything. You can go back and take notes. Let me pull up this information. Sometimes the comments don't come all the way through. I do not see any. Okay. So let me know, you guys, if you have any comments. If you're watching the replay, please pop your comments in. I'm more than happy to answer anything that you have. So what do you do to start to heal these core belief systems? Like, how do you go about healing them? The first thing is to bring awareness to them. Anything that you want to change in your life is to start to bring awareness to it. Whether you're like drinking too much coffee or you're staying up too late, is to actually start to bring awareness to it. So I'm starting to bring awareness to these for you tonight, like that you're holding some of these core belief systems, that there is more that meets the eye in your relationship, and actually it goes back to you. And there's things that you can do to start to change your relationship. Does that mean that you are fully responsible? No. But you start to learn what is yours and what is your partner's. And as you start to like detangle your energy, because like when you're in a relationship, you're just this big ball of energy, right? You're just these people that are connected and you've got all your things going on and you're activated, and we'll talk about that in a minute. As you start to become aware and you start to do self-work, you start to pull yourself out of the energy with your partner. That is not like a negative thing. That is a positive thing. That means that you are pulling yourself out of what is theirs, that they need to heal, because they're on their own journey and they have their own experiences through life that they've come through with, and you have your own. And as you are like separating yourself energetically, you actually can hold your own energy. You don't get triggered by your partner. So when you have these core belief systems, you're triggered by your partner. So they'll say something to you and automatically you'll go into a negative response. You get angry, you get mad, you get frustrated, like you have a negative emotional response to something they said or did. And that response has everything to do with you and how you feel and believe. It doesn't have anything to do with what they did. It has everything. So it's their responsibility for what they did. It's your responsibility for how you responded to it. I hope that makes sense. So what they did is their responsibility. How you responded to it is your responsibility. And as you start to become aware of the beliefs that you're holding and how you are triggered and these deeper inner thought patterns that are going on, you start to realize that, okay, that has nothing to do with me. Like that's completely your stuff. I don't even need to go there. So you're not as triggered by your partner. They can say things that would in the past have like set you into a tailspin, and you come to a place where you just kind of look at them and laugh and you're like, okay. Like, so as you're starting the healing journey, those little triggers and little things lessen. Make a list of these belief systems that are showing up in your life that I've gone over. Like you could just write unworthiness and start listing out any things that you feel that have like come up in the past, a past pattern, past relationship patterns, past arguments. What's the constant argument? Usually there's a handful of arguments that couples argue about, and it's probably like 4. It's always like 2 to 4 things. It's the same thing over and over. It's just disguised in a different thing. It's, a different package, but it's always the same core issues. He said this, and then I felt like that, and then we had an argument. And so start to become aware of what these patterns are. So make a list of this this PDF, and see if any of these things are connected. What you need to start doing is making a connection to where these actually were formed. That is the work that I do with my clients. We actually start to make a connection to where this is started. What started this? Why are you holding on to this? Where is this connected? Okay, so create this connection from where it comes from. And this is listed in the PDF, guys, okay? So you don't have to take notes or whatever. When was the time frame? How old were you? Do you remember what you were feeling, what you were doing? And some of these things actually can be little tiny things that it doesn't feel like it was tiny, but to you as your 5-year-old self that experienced this thing that felt like great trauma, it actually does have effect on you. It literally has an effect on you, because there's a part of you, this inner child, that never got to voice their opinion. They never got to express their emotion. They never got to have a say in it. So we're going back and we're making connections on where this inner child is stuck, what he or she needs to say, what he or she needs to acknowledge, what he or she needs to heal. And I know that it sounds like it's a little woo-woo. I am a little woo-woo, but it is so amazing, the transformation that my clients get when we go back to this point of creation and actually give that part of themselves a voice, actually give the emotion a chance to be expressed, actually give the energy a chance to heal, actually give the emotion to come up, and to give the feeling a name, a time, a place. This is how I felt then. I can't believe that this is tied in. It is so amazing when I'm working with my clients and they have, they trust me, and we go to this deep place, and they have, all of a sudden they start making the connection, and they're like, I cannot even believe that was connected, but that makes complete sense. And they start getting these breakthroughs. And when you get these breakthroughs, when you understand where these things are connected, you're able to move out of them. You're able to shift your energy and create a new belief system. So as you're thinking about these belief systems, as you're thinking about these past experiences, does a certain person come to mind? Is there a certain person that said something or did something to you that you're still holding on to? I'm going to tell you, this isn't always just mother, father, brother, intermediate family. I had a teacher I was in 4th grade, that was verbally abusive. And my parents didn't know at the time, because I was too young to tell them. And I think when you're a kid, maybe your parents don't really fully understand what's going on. My teacher yelled at me. She was verbally abusive. She would literally get in your face and scream and holler at you if you didn't know the answer. And that affected me. So this isn't always just connected with the past family dynamics. It could be connected to many different people along your lifeline that are still having some kind of effect on you. I did not feel like I was good enough in that moment when I'm in 4th grade. The teacher's asking me for the information, I didn't know it, and she's screaming at me. So I had to do a lot of healing and forgiveness work around that. That's a part of my my healing too, is I do a lot of forgiveness work with people. After you start to create this connection to where these belief systems were formed, and you start to release them, you start to bring awareness to them, there are many, many ways that you can release them. So with my private clients, I do tapping and energetic clearing. I just want to check in and make sure there's no, there is no questions. You guys that are joining, if you want to share this out, feel free to share this out. If you're watching the replay, you are more than welcome to share this out. And like I said, there is a free PDF that's linked in the comment section that you can download to have and go back over this information. So with my private clients, I work on 3 areas, what I talked about. Mental, so that's your belief structure, the belief patterns that you're holding. Energetic, which is our energetic body and where we hold things. Our emotions that were never expressed, never actually fully healed. And then the physical, so actually taking action, daily action to create new belief systems. So I lost my place, but what did I? Sorry, guys. So what I was going to say was my private clients, we use EFT, which it is actually tapping. It's not actually specifically EFT. EFT is emotional freedom technique. It is like acupuncture, but it's with your fingers and you're actually tapping on the meridians in the body, so the energetic system. I don't do full EFT. I actually do tapping with my clients. And what this helps them do is it gives them permission to go into their emotions, actually to bring up things that are like under the subconscious level that they don't want to see, that they're blocking. And as they're tapping, they're allowing themselves to hear what's going on. They're allowing themselves to feel the emotion that wants to be expressed, that they've been holding. It is powerful. Like, I mean, within a 1 hour call, I have my clients get tremendous shifts. It's amazing. So EFT is amazing to use as you've found these core belief systems. I don't teach it for my clients. I actually walk them through tapping, but there is information online that you can find with tapping. Okay, so another thing that you can add in to start healing these core belief systems is journaling, making a connection to that past experience, allowing yourself to go deep. Write about how you really feel. Like I said, a lot of times we don't want to acknowledge the emotions that we're holding. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to go back there. We don't want to address it, but it's still living within you. I promise you, it is still living on repeat in your subconscious mind. It's just that you've like numbed it down. You've turned the volume down like just so enough that you can only barely hear it, but it's still there. It's that constant whisper, that constant like feeling like, you know, nothing's ever good enough, or I'm not enough, or I can't have this relationship, or it's just turned down. So what you want to do is you want to start turning the volume up so you can hear what's really there. And as you're going into journaling, make sure you go as deep as you can. Be willing to feel your feelings. Be willing to connect to what is really there. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling this? Where did it come from? Who is this attached to? Where did this belief come from? How old were you? As much detail as you can as you're journaling. It is not enough to just think a new thought. I don't want you guys to feel like you can just flip the switch. I wish it was that way. I wish it was that easy. I wouldn't have been on this 10-year journey even more. It takes time and diligence to actually break through an old belief system, and to be willing to actually like explore what's going there. I mean, when I've done like deep healing work, I've been tapping for like at least an hour a day, journaling. I've worked with a high-end coach. Like I've done a lot of like healing. So it does take work. So you can't, there are some belief systems that you will find that change overnight. As soon as you have the awareness of them, you're like, that is incredibly stupid. Why am I still believing that? But other belief systems that are really deeply entrenched, really deeply ingrained in who you are, what you believe you are. Like this has been with you since you're like young. So there's a part of you that like just believes that's a part of who you are. Those belief systems take time, and they take consistent work to actually break through them. And you have to clear them on all levels. You have to clear them on the energetic, the emotional, and the mental level. So after you start to clear these belief systems, and this is the structure that I use with my clients, after you start to clear these old belief systems and you're getting the breakthroughs, you will then start to create the new belief system, the new belief of the relationship that you want. So there's a relationship that you have a desire about. There's things that you've been putting in your mind Like I want my partner to be like more like this, and I want to feel more like that, and I want us to do this more. There is a relationship that you've actually like created in your mind, and the reason that you can't get there is because all this stuff is in the way. When you start to create space and clear this out, and you start to create the belief systems of what you really want and focusing all your energy on that, then you start to see the little shifts and you start to see yourself coming into alignment with that new version of what you really desire in your relationship. Okay, so the last thing that I would suggest for you is to work one-to-one with me, or look at getting into my 8-week group healing program, where we're going to go through everything that I just talked about in complete depth. Like, we're going to go through all your belief systems. I'm going to teach you how to tap. I'm going to teach you what is actually preventing you from letting these old things go. I'm going to teach you how to structure a new belief system. We're going to talk about the law of attraction in relationships and how it actually is creating the same thing over and over and over again, the same patterns. So I'm going to drop the link in here. If anybody's watching or anybody's on the replay is like, oh my God, I've got to do that program, I'm going to drop the link in here. You can find more information about that there. And I'm going to open this up for comments because I want to know, I had a couple questions from my group earlier and I want to acknowledge them. And I want to know if you guys have any questions that you want answered as I'm talking. And I'm going to find this. So that 8-week program will start on September 25th. The reason why I decided to do 8 weeks was I've done 4-week programs and I've done 6-week programs, and I feel 6 weeks is when you're just starting to break through. I feel like those extra 2 weeks give you a little bit more time to get yourself fully into the new space that you're wanting to create. Gives you a little extra time. This program is only going to run once live because I'm going to go out on maternity leave in November. So this is a one-time opportunity to run with this program live, to get in with other women who are ready to transform their relationships, who are ready to heal, who are ready to find like true, like real shifts in their marriage. So one of the questions that someone asked me is, can you be the only person that does this work and it changed? The answer is yes. I was the only person that did the work in my relationship. My husband was not sitting down doing law of attraction work and tapping and doing all these things. He was not doing it. It actually shifted him. Did it change him? It did, but it didn't change him like who he was. It changed our energetic dynamics together. It changed the way that I responded to him. It changed my outlook on him. It changed the way that I thought about myself. So because I'm not joking, you guys, and some of my family is watching, we have had a very turbulent relationship. We went from, meeting, being completely head over heels in love. He broke up with me. I was shattered. We ended up coming back together. We dated for a little over a year and a half. That's when we were engaged to be married. We had it all planned out. We had the wedding, the dresses, everything. We were 2 weeks from being married, and I just felt like he wasn't in the right place. So I called our marriage off. Didn't think I was ever going to be with him again. Was not like expecting this to come back to my life. I was guided back to being into this relationship. I resisted for months. I finally did go back into the relationship. We were together for a year, and I finally came to a crossroads, and I was like, I know I either need to make a decision and commit in this relationship, or I need to let go. And I committed. Excuse me. I was like, yeah, I guess, I don't feel like I can let go. I feel like there's something here, something I still want to like experience. And within 2 weeks we were married. The moment I actually committed, it all fell together incredibly. So from going from this place where we were constantly fighting, and even when we got married, we were still fighting. There was still stuff that I needed to work on because I was still on my inner journey. Constantly fighting, constantly in this up and down. It had a lot to do with me because I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I wasn't fully committed. I was afraid. I had a lot of fear. I didn't feel like I was worthy on some level. And so as I healed all these belief systems, our relationships started to come into more balance and more harmony. Very rarely do we fight. We have disagreements, but very rarely do we fight. Very rarely do we get like out of alignment with each other. Within like 10 minutes, one of us is like, okay, let's talk about this. I apologize or whatever. So it doesn't go to that extreme. It's completely possible for you to align your relationship, your marriage, with you doing the work. I'm going to put a side note in here. Sometimes when you do the work, when you do the healing work and your partner is not ready to step up, you will actually like separate. You will move in different directions. I don't want to lead anybody to feel like, you know, this is all happy-go-lucky. Sometimes when you're willing to do the healing work, when you're ready to come into alignment and they're not, you will actually move in separate directions. And I wish I could say that was not the case, but sometimes it is. But that means that either when you do the work, your partner is going to step up on a certain level, or there is somebody better coming for you in your life. And I will tell you, I've had to go through this. I've had to let go. I've had to surrender. I've had to like do my inner work and not know if my husband was going to come along for the ride. And he always meets me. He always up levels when I'm doing this work. So I hope that answers the question. There's another question. And if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the comments section. I hope that you are getting a lot out of this. Where is that question? Here we go. Communication, which I did not talk a lot about tonight. I'm going to do another live on communication. If you ask my husband, communication is number one, the most important part of a relationship. If you have no communication, you have no relationship. There's a book my amazing friend shared with me about that. So she says, communication is our biggest challenge. If I bring anything up uncomfortable, he doesn't want to talk about it. He'll shut down and refuse to talk. Okay. So when I tuned into this question, I felt like there could be there could be a part of your approach. Now, that's not saying that he doesn't have his own stuff, but I feel like there's a part of an approach that you take. Maybe you're coming at him when you're like triggered, when you're upset, and the way that you're actually responding to him makes him shut down. So what I suggest to that to you is, if there are people that are watching that their partner doesn't want to communicate, make sure that the time that you're trying to communicate with them is actually in the right place. So if you are like super angry, because you might be more aggressive than they are. I'm actually more aggressive than my husband. I'm like very boisterous, very outspoken. He's a lot softer than I am. Our immediate reaction is when we feel like we're attacked, or like if we feel that energy is defense mechanism, we'll just shut down. So just check in with yourself. Is this the right time to talk? Is there another way that we can talk? Is this just about him not wanting to talk, or is there something else that I'm doing that I can actually shift to make it more comfortable? Is there a way that he would communicate better? Could we actually work on writing what we are feeling? Maybe he doesn't have the tools or the skills to understand how to communicate. Some men do not know how to communicate because we came from a society where men didn't communicate. Like, it just wasn't like a part of what they learned. So women are much better communicators, and it's, something that you have to navigate to learn how to communicate with your partner. And I'll do a live more about communication later this week. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Without talking directly to you, I am going to suggest that you tune in to see when your partner, when you're asking to communicate with him, is it in a way that like makes him go into defensive? Are you on the attack? Are you like ready to like slay the dragon? Are you ready to like fix it? And he like retreats because he doesn't know how to handle it. Okay, let me know. Let me know if that relates to you. Okay, guys, so if you are interested in this relationship course, I want you to know that there is a early bird bonus, an early bird sign up. If you get in before the early bird doors close, you are getting all the bonuses, a surprise meditation mind shift that literally shifted my life in like minutes. It will shift your life in minutes. It's so crazy that one day I just got this download for this mind shift and I was like, I can't even believe how ridiculous this is. And that alone is valued over $200. So this 8-week course is listed at the early bird price of $399. This is ridiculous. Like, my private sessions are $197 for a 1-hour call. I wanted this to be affordable for people that are in the right relationships, who are struggling, who want to figure out what the conflict is, who want to bring their relationship into harmony, who want to understand that there is something more going on. I want it to be affordable. So 8 weeks, the early bird price, you get 4 bonuses. I'm doing a heart chakra meditation that you can keep. I'm doing energetic clearing meditation on unworthiness and not good enough. I'm giving you the surprise bonus. You will also get a 30-minute one-to-one call with me, which is valued over $97. Like I said, my private one-to-one calls, laser intuitive calls, are $197. So this, just with the bonuses alone, it's valued over $800. So if you guys are interested, the link that I posted here, there is a sales page. You can check all the information out, what it's about, and you can get signed up. That early bird special is running until, I have to pull up my calendar, September. You have until September 20th to get in on the early bird price. So if this is something that you are like, yep, this is what I need, I know I need this, then go ahead and get in. And I look forward to seeing you. Let me know. I'll hang around for a few more minutes to see if you guys have any more questions. It doesn't show me if anybody's here live or I'm talking to myself. But if you guys have any more questions, if you come back and you want to know more information, if you have a question in the replay, please let me know. I don't see any questions. Okay, guys. So I hope this is beneficial for you. It is my intention to really bring more awareness to, there is more going on to the story of your relationship. It's not just an outside thing. And when you're willing to actually look within and to start with healing within, you actually will see the shifts. I've seen incredible, incredible, incredible things through my clients. I mean, not just relationships, but like I said, them manifesting dream jobs and money coming into their life and things healing and opportunities opening up for them. And this all comes from these core belief systems, these things that we're holding that are actually vibrating out and attracting things back to us. So keep on the lookout for this week. I'm going to do a live on communication. We're going to do a live about the law of attraction and how that's playing into your relationship and so much more. So I hope you can join me. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me. I think you can like my page and follow me, but make sure you follow me so you get all this free training that I'm providing for the next week. Okay, guys, I hope you have an amazing night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.